Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to review the Goss Luxury Cream Foundation. I picked this up. It intrigued me. I heard it was really good for dry skin, and I'm on a hunt right now. I'm on a hunt for my holy grail foundation, and I just haven't found it yet. I found some good ones on my hunt, but I am just nowhere close to saying, I can live without this foundation. I'm not there, not even close. So will this be it? I don't know, but let's find out. If you're interested in watching my tutorial and wear test, then just keep watching. I'm so glad you guys decided to stay. I have a look on my eyes right now. It is the Emily Violet Marie palette with Cleona, and it is gorgeous. I'm loving it. And so that is what is on the eyes. We're going to go in. I got shade 9. So we're going to see how well that goes. I do have a olive skin tone. It is more to the cooler to neutral olive skin tone type. And so it's hard. It's hard to match up my foundation. So we don't know what this is going to look like. But all the videos that I've seen, it didn't look like their shade, but then it just kind of melted into their skin and kind of took on their actual skin tone. So that's what I'm hoping will happen today whenever I try it on. I am going to use it with a sponge. The other thing that a lot of people have said is that it moves throughout the day, and so they suggest powdering it. What I'm going to do is I don't use powder ever. Ever, never. I don't use powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test that theory, and I am going to wear this the entire day, and I am going to wear it without powder, and we're going to come back and we're going to see what it looks like without powder. So that you have options, because most people do powder and I am not. Then you can determine if it does need it or not. Then you can give it a try with powder if you're wanting to try this foundation. So I am excited to try this out. The packaging is nice. It's very, I wouldn't say, it doesn't feel luxe because this is plastic, but yeah, I mean, it's just simple, classic type packaging. It has just kind of it's not a pleasant smell, but it's not an awful smell. I don't know why I smelt it, but I did. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a damp sponge, and I'm just going to swirl it around. From what I hear, you don't need much, and you can build it. So, it looks like it's going to do really good with my coloring. Huh, yeah. It's harder to take it away, so I just want to build slowly. I don't like a super full coverage, and so, yeah. Oh, wow. First glance, oh my. Wow. Oh, that is nice. I'm really liking the coverage. And the color. Okay. Now I'm really hoping that it wears well. Ooh. I don't wear concealer or powder. So those are, and I don't bronze. Well, I mean, I have bronze, but my daily routine does not include bronzing. I'm not opposed to it, but it doesn't include it, and I never contour. If it wears as nice as it's looking right now throughout the day, this is my color, and I'm loving what this is doing on my skin. Oh, okay. I hope he does come out with some more shades because it is very limited. I'd like to see more shades available. I'd imagine he would be adding to the collection. Oh my goodness, you guys. This looks really good. Really good on my skin. Okay, all right. I was not expecting it. I had seen a couple of people use it, but they were younger. And it's harder for me to base what something's going to look like, good, bad, or whatever, on younger skin. I need my dry, mature skin to give it a go. Okay, I want to make sure it's not going to oxidize. I can see it changing a little bit. So it may be getting a little darker as it sits on my face, but that's something else we will determine. Okay. I'm just going to take a moment. I'm going to reapply a little bit of my brows that I wiped away, and I'm going to go ahead and blush. And I'm going to apply a little bit of bronzer just because I know a lot of people do, and I want you guys to be able to see how it performs. You see what it looks like on my face and how it applied, but once you start putting a brush on top of it, some powder on top of it, what is it going to do then? So I will refix my brow, and then we'll come back on and give this time to see if it's going to oxidize and apply some powder products. Okay, so we are going to go in with some bronzer and just kind of warm up the outer edges. I think it may have changed a little bit as far as color goes. I'm about 10 minutes out from applying it, so I'm pretty safe to say that I think that's as far as the oxidation will go. It's not bad. It's just just a tinge. It warmed up on my face, just a hair. So I think it'll be good. So I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil, and I'm going to take that around the outer perimeter of my face. I'm going to stamp it where I want it, and then I'm going to blend it. Okay, so far it is working really well with this foundation. I thought maybe I was going to remove it all or it was going to act strange, but it is not. Blended really well. Okay. Hmm. Around my nose. Okay, so that's the first application of powder to my face. It did not move the foundation. It feels like it has already just melted into my skin, so it's not being disturbed by brushes or powder products being applied on top. Wow. Okay. So good so far. Again, this will be a wear test. I have a very long day, so this will be a long wear test. So I'm going to be checking in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to check in once and then the end of the day, or if it'll just be at the end of the day, but either way, it's going to be a long wear test. Okay, going in with the Hourglass Quad in Ambient, and I like to swirl these around and just make a whole bunch of colors. Blush quads for me, mainly whenever they're this close together, is just pointless because I'm going to probably never just pick one of those blushes up to use. Okay, I haven't used this blush in a while, so I'm like, I forget even what it looks like. It's very peachy. Probably why I don't wear it very often, because I typically like the orangey tones are not my thing. I'm usually a more cooler tone gal, and this does pull warm. That's okay. We're doing okay. I'm going to try to stay away. I think that when I swirl them, I think this one over here probably shows up the most because they're kind of subdued. So I just probably need, when I swirl it, just avoid that one.
Most people go towards those warm tone shades anyways. I'm just a weird one. I'm just a makeup rebel, that's all.
I'm going to put a little bit of that color in on my nose as well, and kind of go over a little bit of my bronze, because typically why I don't bronze is because I do the same thing with my blush and it ties in, and I actually, that coloring on my skin from my blush really does a nice job of doing the same thing a bronzer would do. I'm going to add some highlighter, and then I'm going to set it with the setting spray. I'm going to get up close so that you can see what my face looks like up close. I have no filters. I have lighting, but I have no filters. I film with a MacBook, and so there's no extra special settings or anything like that where I blur out the background or anything like that. It's very basic. It will show you up close, up personal with my skin, and then we'll come back for the check-ins. I think what I'm going to do for my highlighter is I'm going to be a little daring. It's going to be a little sparkly, but I'm going to go in with Effervescent in the palette that I'm using. And so I'm going to use this as my highlighter because I love trying to find shades that you can use for other things in the palette. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Okay, so I got the highlighter on, which it does deposit a little bit of sparkles around in the foundation area, but that's okay. So I'm getting up close here. You can see I have like little fine lines up in there, but that's all normal. That's not the foundation. Like that doesn't matter what kind of foundation I use. But I am really loving this foundation so far. So I'm excited. I want to see how this wears throughout the day. I need this dewiness. I need that moisture look to my face. I do not sweat, at least not on my face. I just, at first glance, I think that if you have oily skin, you're probably not going to like this unless you powder it, powder it down or whatever. And you want like that nice little moisture looking skin on your face and then have it powdered. But I can only tell you what this is going to perform like with dry skin because that's what I have. I look nice and bronzed with my bronzy bronze. I think typically whenever I bronze, I just look too warm and my skin tone is more to the cooler side. So I really have to pull in that warm tone all over. So that's probably what's throwing me off. But anyways, I am excited to see how this all plays out. I'm going to go ahead and finish off this look for another video, and we'll come back and we'll do some check-ins. So I will see you soon. Okay, guys, I'm going to do the first check-in. I didn't touch up my lipstick or anything like that. It's been about 5 hours with this makeup on. I'm going to get up close. Now, I have eaten since I put on this makeup. So if there's some that's worn away around the mouth, that's pretty normal. The other thing is that you can't take in consideration the glitter fallout from me using an eyeshadow that has glitter in it for my highlighter because it just kind of moved all over my face. So when I get up close, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Okay, so far, it's still wearing really well. What I did notice is that maybe sometimes it can emphasize my lines just a little bit more than they normally would. But overall, I really like it a lot. I think that if you powdered it, it might last longer as around the mouth and stuff like that. Whenever I ate, it did come off, and I do notice a little bit of dry, and I super moisturized my face before this. So I'm not 100% with it. I think overall, my face looks nice. There are some areas where I feel like it does emphasize the lines a little bit more than normal. I think that if I'm not touching up, and this is realistic, like if I was out and about or wearing it throughout the day for work or whatever else, after I got through eating, like this whole area is gone. Okay. So it does come off very easily. So maybe powdering would help. I don't know, because I don't powder, but I still think that it looks nice though. I don't see anything because there's plenty of foundations where I've worn it and I was like, oh, this is a no-go. And I'm not there. I think it is a very nice foundation. I think that this won't, I'll have to probably give it a good couple of times to be able to tell for sure if this is repurchasable in my book, as that will come later on. I'm wearing it a few times before I make that decision. But so far, the money I spent on it, I think it's worth it. I think that it did wear very nicely. I think maybe I held it to a little bit higher standard because I thought for sure, coming from Wayne Goss and dealing with mature skin and stuff like that, I thought for sure I wouldn't see fine lines as much as I normally do. I mean, you guys see my face a lot whenever I'm doing videos, and you guys can tell me down in the comments down below. I mean, do you think that it emphasizes it any more than whenever you see me use like my serum foundation or any of these others? I think it might, just a little bit, but it doesn't do it enough to where I'd be like, oh, I don't want to wear this foundation. I still think it wears really nice. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of at a tug of war in my brain right now. But I really do. I think I'm leaning more towards the side of I really do like it, but maybe seeing if there's a different way of applying it, or maybe using a different primer or something like that next time to see if we can keep those lines from showing as much, if that makes sense. So, all right. So hour 5 check-in, and I'll be back to check in probably about 8 hours. So it'll end up being a full 8-hour wear test. So I'll see you in 3 more hours. Okay, guys, it's been 8 hours. I'm in my comfy clothes now because we're about to retire for the night. Okay, so I'm gonna get up close and just talk to you a little bit about what I think. Overall, I think it wore pretty well. I really do. I do think it wore pretty well. Let me show you. I think overall, right in here is your problem. Other than that, I think overall, after 8 hours, it stayed looking pretty nice. I think that the lines maybe show up a little bit more, and now I'm touching my face, but the lines maybe show up a little bit more than normal, and that may be something that would be remedied by a different primer. I don't know. But for the price, I just think overall that it's a pretty good foundation. I am excited to try it some more. I think I'm glad I purchased it, because I think that if I was to rank all my foundations right now, I think it would rank in my top 3 or 4 foundations out of like 15 or 16. I have quite a few foundations. So it's pretty high up there. It's in my top bracket of foundations. So that's where I'm saying even though I'm nitpicking, these little things in comparison to some of the other ones that I have on my skin, I still rank it pretty darn high. It may be up in the top 3. I'm not sure. I would have to wear it more often. This is a first impression and a wear test, but I just wanted to get it out here in case you were thinking about trying this foundation. My thoughts. See it on the skin. See it on mature skin and not 20-year-old skin. And so that you can make a decision for yourself if this is something you want to try out. I think the color ended up being really well. I think it matched pretty darn well. I mean, there's no foundation here, so you can see that it matches really well to my skin tone. So, okay, guys, what do you guys think? Is this a foundation you're interested in? It is a little bit more pricey, but honestly, I think it's going to last for a very long time. I don't think that I'm going to run out anytime soon. I think that you'll probably get maybe even more out of this foundation than you would a liquid foundation, because literally you're just taking the very top little layer off with your sponge, and it is so full coverage and can build up, but you can shear it out. And so you don't have to use very much product at all. So I think for the product, for the price, I think it's a good deal. So anyways, guys, tell me down below if this is not something you're even interested in. That's fine. You could tell me that too. I just want to say hello to you in the comments section. I love seeing you guys down there. Sometimes I don't feel well or something like that, and I don't get back right away, but just know that I do read every single comment, every single one, unless it's in the spam folder, and then I find it and I read it and I comment on it. Even if I don't get a chance to comment it, I try to heart it. And so just know that I'm reading every single one though. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you guys all have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.